Hi there, I'm Megan and I go by Solar Glow Meditations. Tonight we're going to have a distance Reiki session where I'm going to be working on activating your pineal gland. I've had a couple requests for this and it just felt right tonight, so we're going with it. And the theme is very blue. I've got blue shirt, we've got blue background, and I've got a lot of blue crystals out in front of me. I know blue is typically associated with the throat chakra, but the crystals I've picked, at least a couple of them, have also been associated with the third eye, so we're gonna go with that for now. Let's see, before we get started, I do need your consent to work on your energy, so either out loud in the comments, in your head, wherever you feel most compelled, just agree to receive this energy healing. And do let me know if you guys have any requests or feedback or any other comments. So yeah, with that, let's go ahead and get started. And I will kind of talk through the crystals and I'll put them down in the descriptions as we kind of go through. But the first crystal I'm starting with is selenite, because we are going to be working on clearing out those blockages, making sure everything is in good alignment. And I just kind of want to get a feel for what's going on up here. I'll just take kind of a quick run through of all your chakras just to see where we're at too. I can tell a lot of you will probably be listening to this as you're starting to settle in for the night. It feels like your energies maybe, I don't want to say sluggish, but like, I guess a little bit sluggish, a little bit slow, a little bit quiet, a little bit tired. You've had a very long day. The wonderful thing about this is that being just a little bit tired and will help you relax just a little bit more deeply into this meditation. So I want you to make sure you're sitting or laying down in the most comfortable position you can. Make sure your legs are uncrossed. Make sure you're kind of sitting evenly on your hips and shoulders. Is there something that you can maybe untuck or just move slightly so you can get just slightly more comfortable? Just start to take notice of your breath. In through your nose, out through your mouth. Kind of taking a pause at the top and the bottom of each breath. Seeing if you can elongate those in and out breaths of yours. Good. I can tell you're starting to really settle in. The wonderful thing is that nothing seems particularly blocked. I know some of you will come to this video having thought that you have some sort of blockage or something in the way of your third eye chakra. And what I find, and what is even true of myself, especially as I started learning how to use my spiritual abilities, is not so much there's a block It's learning how to read and understand what's going on within your third eye, because it doesn't necessarily happen the way you might expect it to. Personally, when I started this, I closed my eyes and I was expecting to see pictures behind my eyes the same way I would when my eyes are open. And it's not quite that for me yet. It might be for some folks. But it's more like if you're looking to um, see clearly or use clairvoyance, or remote view is another term kind of associated with that. It's more like seeing memories or like dreams. Like, can you remember being at a park when you were a kid? Like, what was that like? And that kind of picture in your head is more like what clairvoyance and remote viewing comes through as. So the next stone I've grabbed is lapis lazuli. This is a great stone for third eye activation and for pineal gland. It will really help you hone in your intuition and your seeing abilities. I'm gonna come in here nice and gently with this energy. So I don't want to alarm anyone or scare them off. That's not what this is intended to do. This is going to be a very gentle activation that will kind of cycle like those breaths we took at the beginning. We'll kind of start off gentle and build up to that more intense, more drawn out cycle. One of the thoughts I have kind of popping up in my head now as I'm working through this is folks are worried about calcification of your pineal gland. And that is something to be worried about, but one of the great things about spirituality is that you make the rules. If you decide it's not a hindrance to your pineal gland or your abilities, then it's not. Just decide it isn't, and therefore it is. Or therefore it is not, if you will. There are things you can absolutely do to help with decalcification. Fluoride is a very big one. So there are fluoride alternatives in toothpaste. Don't get cavities. Still got to take care of the rest of your body. And eating fresh foods, fruits and vegetables help, absolutely. Fiber carries away the toxins. I like to drink a lot of soda water with lime and lemon in it. And those two acidic compounds are said to help with removing some of that calcification. All of this being said, I am not a medical professional, so take it with a grain of salt as you wish, but don't take this as medical advice. You might start noticing other sensations in your body. I just had some ear ringing come through. Excellent. We are going to move on to the next crystal. This next one is blue sodalite. I love sodalite, but I'm blanking on what it's typically associated with. But one of the great things about crystals is colors correspond with chakras. And I know blue is typically for the throat, but we're going for it anyways. Okay, blue sodalite is here to radiate this energy outward. It's kind of like growing a white light right at your pineal gland and just opening this up even deeper. And the blue sodalite's helping to draw this energy outwards. Kind of like a flower when it's starting to bloom. Make sure you continue to breathe. Good. Okay. You might feel a little bit out of breath, a little. We're getting intense here. Okay. This next crystal is Hawaii opal. This is one of my favorites to sleep with for dreaming. This is such a fun crystal. It's always just so like lighthearted and fun, I guess. Maybe the right terminology here. I know why I picked this crystal now. I don't know why. I just picked the crystals and I knew they were right as I picked them and said I would figure it out later. And I did. So Hawaii Opal is here to tell you that you will have a much simpler time using your intuition, your clairvoyance, your remote viewing if you're in a good mood. Um, you want to, this is going to sound so cliche, but like raise your vibration, bring yourself to a happy, good place. Find that loving energy, that just pure joy and excitement in all of this. Anything you can do to kind of elevate yourself from kind of that norm or just calm state. Because raising your vibration makes it a lot easier to be able to see and know and interpret things. The energy moves a lot faster when your vibration's higher. So, if you feel like you are struggling to use these abilities, maybe just take a pause and do something to put yourself in a good mood. Like, do anything to make yourself laugh. Like, can you think of like a really cheesy dad joke to go, or maybe find like a dad joke website to just read through and just keep reading until you find something that you find funny. And it can be like very slapstick humor, it can be just anything of that nature. Another one that I like to do, it's so silly, but you see babies laughing on the internet, just finding babies laughing videos and just watching that over and over again because it is the funniest thing. Like they laugh at such silly things, and it's infectious in the best way. So it's almost always like an instant mood booster for me. Another thing that you can do is find a memory that you have that is just so like vivid to you and just so like loving, happy, funny, anything that just brings you joy. Think of that anytime that you can. You might start to notice kind of intense feeling on the center of your forehead, and if you do, it's okay. Don't be alarmed. Just notice it as it happens. Make sure you keep breathing. If you're feeling that sensation now, that is your pineal gland activated. Okay. coming into the home stretch here. This last piece, or this last crystal we're working with is blue lace agate. It's a much, kind of matches the Hawaii actually in that coloring, but it's a little bit softer. It's going to help wind us down. Okay, I have a fun story for you guys. When I first had a clairvoyant reading done, it was through the clairvoyant school that I ultimately ended up taking classes from. And the first time I had a clairvoyant reading done, I had no idea what to expect. And they had me sit in a chair with my eyes open, and they had me say my name 3 times. And as they did it, I had the most interesting feeling. Like it felt like my eye like actually physically opened in my forehead. And it's not that I could see anything differently. I could just feel this energy and this sense of knowing that they were kind of tapped into my energy field. It was so cool. But then I had the reading, it went wonderfully. They did so great. But then days later, I was driving down the road, and out of nowhere, I get the same feeling again, and I'm concerned that somebody has like tapped into my energy field without my consent or knowing or anything like that. And I know now that that's not what happened. It's that my third eye spontaneously awakened as I was like driving in this somewhat meditative state. And so it was just like this new fascinating sensation to be aware of. So I also share this story to say that if you feel like your pineal gland randomly activates in a few days just on its own, that's totally normal. It happens. As you learn to work with it more and more, it will become natural to turn it on and shut it off as you wish. And if you feel like it does it in the most inconvenient times, all you have to do is say, "The session is now closed." As an example, we are not closed with this session yet, we are still working. But you are in control. Another thing of note, if this is your first time having this chakra be so intensely worked on, you might find yourself having falling asleep, and that's totally normal. Don't be discouraged, just do your best to come back, maybe watch it again, and do your best to stay awake. Meditating every day is really going to help keep these things exercised and in good working order, if you will. Not that it can get in bad working order, but you can just kind of get out of practice. Meditation helps with that energetic cleanliness, if you will. Good. I'm gonna pull out the lapis lazuli one more time just to kind of line things up here. Good. I think we're gonna end this session here. Has a lot of intense energy focused on one chakra, so it might be a lot. That's okay. Just make sure you take care of yourself. Take a bath, take a walk, just stop and take deep breaths. You might even find yourself needing to like sleep more over the next couple days. Sometimes it can trigger kind of a spiritual growth period, especially if this is not a chakra that you typically work with. So just take care of yourself. It's okay. And feel free to watch it a few times if you feel like you need to. Sometimes it will bring out new sensations the next time you watch, or different kind of facets of that energy can come through. So, yeah. With that, thank you so much for being with me for this session. I wish you the best. I hope it goes well for you. With that, namaste.